Hey kids, this is Jack. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Planet Zoo. Today we embark on a new project. This is going to be a desert zoo. As you can see, I've already done some initial work on it. I wanted to get the initial area out of the way, the entrance plaza, and that's what this basically is. I also included some staff buildings and a food court just to get it all out of the way. We're going to do things a little differently. This is technically a sandbox, but what it is it's going to be a themed zoo. As you can probably tell, this is a desert map. I mean, let me zoom it out so you can see. This is a desert map. Not a lot of trees, not a lot of water, high temperatures. Also, it's Australia themed, as you might see. So this is the name of the zoo, Djukarrnu Batjuwar. Now, I have a friend, his name's Corey. I've known him since high school, and he is, as he describes it, an Australian American. His mother is an Australian Aboriginal. I don't know what her tribal affiliation is. I don't know any of that. All I know is that she is an Australian Aborigine, as is his grandmother, who is still chugging along happy-go-lucky at the grand old age of 94 years old. So anyway, when I decided to do this zoo, I contacted Corey and I was like, hey Corey, I want to use some actual a phrase from an actual Aboriginal language is the name of this zoo. And he, of course, thought I was crazy. But he did let me talk to his mom and his grandma. And they've known me for years. And I explained what was going on, and they thought I was crazy. But in the end, I was given a quick lesson in language and grammar, and I got it all wrong. I could not. I couldn't. I tried my best. I couldn't get the pronunciations down. I couldn't get, and finally, Grandma Maggie goes, Jack, don't worry about it. Write this down. And she spelled it out. And this is what she spelled out to me. And she told me up front that this is not accurate. This is not correct for her language. I can't even remember the name of her language. I know that it started with a D. But anyway, she says this is as close as any English speaker is going to get. Djukarrnu Batjuwar. And it means, or at least it's supposed to mean, but actually doesn't, because this is gibberish, it's supposed to mean the Friendship Path. And that is the name of this zoo, the Friendship Path Zoo. Let me back it up and I'll show you what I've done so far. I have this, which is the entrance. It's got the spawners, and then the guests will come out here into this little covered area, and then through the gates. Let me drop it a little. Then through the gates, I did decorate the interior of this. Okay, they come through the gates here and they're in the zoo. They've got an ATM. Now off to the left here is a bathroom. That's a bathroom down there. Right there, you can see it. And then off to the right is an information, and I've got a welcome sign. I've got an information booth off there. And then you get to the big sign, Djukarrnu Batjuwar, which, like I said, Grandma Maggie said, don't worry about it. It's not like any of us white folk is going to know the difference, quote unquote. That's from Grandma Maggie. She's 90, in her 90s. She has the right to say that kind of thing. So anyway, this is what I started. I also put in a little food court back there that's covered, plus a staff area. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you, you notice I've got a lot of themed items, like this light post and the path shades. I'm using the standard benches and trash buckets. But the rest of it I made from scratch. I made the welcome sign. I made all this signs. I put all the buildings together. And I also, just to have, what do you call it? Templates. I've been playing around and I developed these basic designs for other things that I want. I'm going to use this as a shell for freestanding shops. We have the education signs. That's going to be the habitat animal signs. Excuse me. I've got fences. I've got a water pipe for the animals. I've got path shading. I've got habitat shading. I've got viewing area shading. I've got an ATM cover, and of course I have the exhibit. So this is what we're gonna do, and it's gonna be cool because what I've got is I've got a list of animals. They're all either desert animals or grassland animals. They can take the heat. I've got a lot of Australian animals. There are going to be some animals that technically aren't desert and or grassland, but whatever. But the one thing I wanted to do, and I wanted to do this, I wanted to show it to you while I was doing this. Normally, sandboxes have unlimited funds. They are absolutely unlimited funds. So let's see. Economy settings. Here we go. Disable. I am starting with a specific amount, and I'm going to have to raise money while playing. Now, normally it's 10,000 to begin with, but what we're going to do is we're going to raise this to 40, which is the starting amount for the standard. Okay. Disable unlimited conservation credits. I am going to start with. Oh, come on. I'm going to start with 400 conservation credits. And all of this, fully trained staff, we're getting rid of that. Disable barrier dilapidation, disable maintenance, power everything, keep water clean. This is it. It's basically going to be a standard franchise zoo, but I'm doing it on a sandbox map. And the reason I'm doing it on a sandbox map is because I want the animals available when I want to do the animals. Okay? So anyway, we're going to apply that and hit OK. And then we're going to start work on our first animal habitat, which is going to be red kangaroos. I figured, hey, this is an Australian-themed zoo. How much more Australian can I get than to make a kangaroo habitat? So that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to start off with the terrain, naturally enough. It's 8 meters high. Let's make it 4. Yeah, we're going to make it 4 meters. And we'll expand this out to 6. Okay. Alright, and here we go. We're just going to drop the terrain like this. Excuse me, I'm for sniffing. In case anybody's interested, I'm doing pretty good today. Having a good time. I've been working on this, on the prep work for this new habitat. I got to tell you, I've been working on it for a while now, and a couple of days, and it's been pretty fun. And once I had the idea for the zoo in my head, I knew precisely what I wanted to do, and it worked out really good, and everything was great. And I'm looking forward to seeing what we come up with. Of course, I say we like you guys are actually here in my office with me playing the game also. That was not correct. Let's do this. You know what? We're not going to use that. What I'll do is let's bring this down. Okay. And we're going to put everything like that. give ourselves a smaller one, because what I want is some hills here. You know, it's funny. I have Way Down We Go by Kaleo in my head for whatever reason. I've got no idea why. I mean, it's not a bad song. I like the song. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, why? Why is that? You know how it goes. You get a song in your head and you're like, why do I have that song in my head? What's the point of that song? Okay. As far as I can take it. Let's get the okay. Now that I've got the habitat, the general area that the landscaping of the habitat done, let us lay out some barriers. Let's make this to 10. Man, I am so excited about this. I'm looking forward to it. I really want to see what I can do with this. I haven't done a lot of themed zoos before. Mostly it's, I mean, obviously I did the Adventure Jungle Zoo, and that seems like it would be a theme, except it wasn't really a theme, because basically I just decided I'm going to do a zoo with jungle animals in it. If you notice, I didn't use theme objects. I didn't really use, you know, there was no jungle-themed restaurant with decorations in the jungle style, or whatever you want to call it. So it's a bit different, and that's what I'm excited to get into. All right. Now, this is what I'm going to end up doing with the zoo. This is the area that I'm using. I think it's going to work pretty damn well. Let's adjust some of the barriers. I get the feeling this is going to end up being a lot more room than the kangaroos actually need, but that's okay. You know, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind. Of course, I have to admit that I haven't looked at the I haven't looked at the kangaroo entry to see how much room they need, so for all I know, it's not going to be anywhere close. All right, that'll be good for now. Let me look up kangaroos, red kangaroos. Okay, 330 meters square. They need 3 meters of a grade 3 fence. Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is much more room than they need. So let me go Okay, I'm collecting this one, I'm collecting this one, I'm collecting that one. Let's bring this over here. Wow. Okay. Alright, facilities. I'm going to need a keeper hut back here. Yeah, I've got one right over here. Yeah, it's a keeper hut. You know, this being a themed park, I'm going to try and make it as uniform as possible when it comes to the design of things. You know, I want it all to look about the same. Okay. Now I haven't done a staff room, one of the small ones, but I'm going to put one back here anyway. Right here. And I will get this thing decorated. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it right now because there's no real reason to. Okay, but let's put a door. How about come on. I hate when it's uncooperative. I really hate when it's uncooperative. We're going to put that door right there. So do I have everything? Are there any pieces missing? This. All right. It's got a hide me sign. This is gonna look so cool, guys. It really is. Okay, so this is what we're going to make our barrier out of. All right, this is going to be boring and repetitive, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in speed build mode until I get the wall set up, and then we will come back to talk about the rest of the the rest of the habitat and getting the animals in there and decorating it. So I'll be right back. And we're back. Thank you very much for your patience. Let's get the animals in, and we will see how this works, or whether or not it even does. I know I'm going to have to adjust the null barrier for the actual presence of the fence. So while we're waiting on the kangaroos to show up. Let's get that taken care of. Of course, it might help if I actually unpause the game, won't it? I know I'm going to have to do a lot of plant removal. Alright, the first of our kangaroos has arrived, so let me just do this, because this is what I'm actually worried about. Right, look at that, look at that. Lots of escape points. Okay, well, we're going to have to do something about that, which shouldn't actually be that difficult now that I think about it. Let's finish. I'm going to finish adjusting the barriers, because I think part of it is where the barrier is placed.